Hey, y'all, did y'all miss us? Because we sure missed you. Look, watch, like, and subscribe to our channel at Sister Sis 1988, as well as follow us on all our social media platforms at Sister Sis 1988. We are coming back with episode 2, coming back with our lovely ladies, Miss Adrienne and Miss Lauren. But first, I'm Jamie.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Calandra.
So we're going to go ahead and come back with episode 2, continuing these great questions for these ladies who's given us so much insight on what they do in their podcast and why they started and get this business up together. So, Miss Calandra, go ahead.
All right. So what's the best piece of advice you'd give to others who would like to work with their close friends? We can't hear you, Miss Lauren.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. There we go. We're good.
Okay. I just used to use my speaking voice, my outside voice. Sorry. I think one of the biggest issues I think that happen in partnerships are people not feeling heard and not being transparent about how they feel. I would say in all relationships is like passive aggression. So one of the things we try to do is be very direct and loving, not direct, and you have to be empathetic in your directness, you know? So we try to have empathy for each other, but we try to be honest about how we feel in doing what we're doing. Like if there are things that make Adrienne uncomfortable, certain topics, then I have to be really respectful of that and vice versa. And we try to speak up before things kind of go off the rails, out of control. I think communication is the biggest part of any partnership, and just keeping the clear lines open, feeling comfortable to say what you need to say, and having a judgment-free zone to be honest with your partner. And that goes with any relationship, but I think in business, when you have that, you can be clear about, I think, we talked about agreements, money and stuff earlier. It's a lot easier to talk about that stuff when you don't feel like you're going to be judged, or it's going to come back to bite you in some way. So when you have that open, clear communication, that's when you'll see your partnerships flourish, your business flourish, and you'll be able to get through really difficult things.
Right. So true. Adrienne,
I would just add on one thing. I think it's really important when you're in business with a friend to not take things personal. So there's times when you're doing business together, you'll disagree, or there's just a business action that you may need to take that can make you feel some type of way, maybe. But I think not taking it personal will really, really help. I think we've been really good, about that. And I think it's probably just from our experience in the past doing business with friends and stuff, but it's really important. I think that the things that make business relationships not work as well as they could with friends is because something happens with business that someone's in their feelings, and it really makes them think differently about the friendship. So sometimes you have to keep it a kind of separate, the business and the friendship, and realize that her disagreeing with me or me disagreeing with her, or us having different opinion on how we want to run the business or anything like that is not a personal attack on you as a person.
Right. So true. I think like with us, because all three of us are friends, best friends as well. So I think that allowing us to be one another, like me allowing Jamie to be who she is, me allowing Toya to be who she is, and them allowing me to be who I am, is what I would add just, into that. Because to me, I think honestly, this probably has been the easiest business relationship that I have ever had. Like honestly, no lie. Like I'm in other business relationships outside of this business relationship, but this has been the easiest one, probably because I know that they have my best intention at heart. So it has been easy. Like I'm just gonna be honest. Like that was it has been extremely, extremely easy. Where you compare to like I'm a entrepreneur outside of here, but when I hire individuals in, I don't know those individuals. So like I'm trying to learn those individuals as I'm trying to hire them in to do a job. But like just say, well, me, Jamie, and Toya are working together. I know they have our best interests at heart. They have all three of our best interests, at heart. So it makes it really, really simple, to do business, with them. So that's what I would say. know the people that you are working with and allow them to be who they are. That has been a huge, huge plus, for us.
And I think
So
another part of it is ensuring that you're on a similar, like you have a similar end goal, or
that's true.
you're like-minded, where you both want to achieve similar things. When when you're not aligned in that way, that's going to create conflict
True.
at some point, even if it works for a little while. You're going to get to the point where something that you're doing may be misaligned from a value perspective, from an outcome perspective. And when you have people who are more like-minded and are trying to get to a similar place you are, it's a lot easier to be aligned in all of your actions and in communications and things like that. So it's another thing to think about.
True. So true. So true. Has working together deepened your friendship in any unexpected way?
That's a great question. I think it strengthened our friendship for sure, because I think when you go into business with anybody, but especially a friend, it's a new challenge that you have to overcome. So the fact that we've been able to do this for a year, and we've done plenty of business together in the past, but we never had an actual entity,
Oh,
Yes.
together.
Right.
So I think knowing now, after it's been about a year now, that we successfully can navigate this, and it hasn't been perfect, but we've ebbed and flowed. We've given each other grace, and I think that it just strengthens, how strong our friendship is for one another, and also how much we respect one another as well. So we're just able to flow in a different manner, and I love my girl so much, but I probably love her even more because we're able to do this together and do it successfully.
Right. Right. Miss Lauren, anything you want to add?
I mean, I just have to agree with that. That's so true. And we get to see each other more and talk more. So our meetings be business and pleasure sometimes. Like we start off, well, what's going on? What happened? And like, oh
Right.
girl, we need to do business. It always happens, but it's really nice sometimes when you unload to your friend or
yeah,
talk to them, and then you're like lighter the rest of the day after
yeah.
having this meeting. It happens for me a lot. I'm
Honestly,
moody, so I'll get on here like, oh, what's up, girl?
she said
And
she
then
sound
we
moody.
chat for
Yeah. First of all, we meet we meet every week.
Every Thursday, yep.
Every Thursday, we meet every
Mhm.
Thursday. It does take a load off, because all of us have something going on. Like
Correct.
you have your personal stuff going on, so you do get to kind of load off. Because when you talk, you be like, What that happened?" You be like, "That just happened in the last 7 days. We just talked."
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
Because we're gonna talk every week. So
Mhm.
it is something to look forward to. Because sometimes I don't even call. It's like I'm gonna talk to a Thursday, or I'm gonna
Yeah,
talk
correct. Yeah.
and I tell them in. So it is people sometimes don't. Well, I've known that the reason where I'm getting to is having those type of friends for all of your life. You realize that really talking it out helps you really with doing something, keeping you from doing something that you don't want. You know what I'm saying? If you don't talk to nobody, you just go out doing things, you probably get in some big trouble, or you make a decision that you'll regret. So that offloading that you get to do with your friend kind of helps you, kind of what they call like a stress,
Yeah.
I guess. You can have a stress
Yeah.
that helps a lot. Even though you're on there to do business, it's not like you're not doing the business, but you're kind of killing two birds with one stone for that,
Yeah. And sometimes she's knocking sense into you, like, girl, that does not make sense. Like, you are not correct in this. Like, you were wrong. Rethink what you're
True
thinking.
that.
Like, through that situation, like, you might
Yeah.
not be right all the time. So, like, just having like the sounding board to talk you through some things that you might be feeling. I think it goes both ways for us, where we're like, oh, okay, let's talk through that. And then we're more clear-headed to get the work done
Yeah.
quicker because we're
Yes,
not,
yes, yes. And then
thinking about other stuff.
your friends are stronger in some things that you aren't, and then you're stronger in things that they make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that the because we meet every Thursday, like to talk about our podcast. But honestly, usually I'm excited to come and meet on Thursdays because, like prior to doing our sis, we didn't talk all the time. Sometimes we would go weeks without even speaking to each other. Not that we're mad or anything like that, but we get busy with life. but it forces us. And I know that sounds really bad because it sounds like it's forced. But to me, even when we come together, it's natural though, you know? So usually I'm the one that's like, okay, what we got next? And I'm moving everything along, you know? And
That's
so
me.
Toya's usually the one that's on the computer and she typing and getting everything together. Jamie like, okay, look, what I need to do. Tell me where I need to be, you know? So, but everything all comes together. So honestly, like really, I'm excited for our Thursday meetings just because I get to talk to my friends. I know I have a scheduled time to meet and talk to them. And we do. A lot of times we do get sidetracked and we talk about personal things.
We
And
be on the phone for 4 hours. It be
will.
midnight.
I know. I was about to
Yeah,
ask how long y'all call for
yes,
when you
yes.
go
Wait a
over
minute.
time.
So our meeting starts, well, we changed it. It used to start at 8 Central. And so I'm changing my bedtime. I'm trying to get to bed early. But at any rate, it used to start at 8 Central. Now it starts at 7 Central. And Toya is right. Sometimes it will last. And Toya be like, me and Toya used about the last two hanging. Jamie will hang up on us. She like, look, I'm checking out.
I'll fall asleep on the phone.
She'll hang as long as she can, but at any rate, but to me, that's the part I think that really deepens. Like, I'm just because we compare ourselves a lot to you guys, so like we feel like that really deepens our relationship because it forces us to have that connection. But it's still genuine when we come together, though. At the same time, so it's not forced that we're talking to each other. No, to me, I think when we're all three together, it's an enjoyable moment, like with all of us. So I think the other ladies they can speak to that. But to me, we usually have a really enjoyable moment, though. So yeah, so we thought we would ask that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All righty. So let's see. What's the best part of working with your best friend that makes it worth the challenge?
Ooh. I think one that we get to talk and see each other so
Okay.
frequently. You know, it's like like y'all said, like you have a scheduled time that you're gonna
Right.
talk to them or you're gonna see them. And even if you all business, it's still you hanging with your friends. So,
Correct.
it doesn't feel so work related or
Like,
whatever.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What was the second part of the question?
No, it's just what's the best part of working with your best friend that makes it worth the challenge?
Oh, the other part is the vision of growth together. So like when I win, she wins, when she wins, I win. And the fact that we're growing something together, like we knew individually that we would not have been able to do this podcast on our own. We knew that we needed to be together. And that's why it took us being together to actually launch anything. And God has revealed a lot of things to us once we did it together. Like we have professional recording and all that. And that's because of Lauren's connections with her brother being a videographer. We have professional marketing. It's because of my experience, with marketing. So us together is much stronger than us separately. And it's really exciting seeing what the powers of us together, like what that blossoms into. And it's already growing and we know it's going to continue to grow. So it's just exciting thinking about the future of the podcast.
Yes.
Amen.
I can't even. Yeah, that's it for sure.
I can't even come back to that. So, but we thank you guys for coming and joining us today. I know it was a rough start. We know that. So thank you guys for being patient with us, and we are coming to DC. We promise you guys that we're coming.
Yes.
Maybe a minute, but look. I'm afraid to fly at this time with all this stuff going on, but we coming.
Listen.
The only thing that's happened right now is the airplane crashes are being televised more than they were. Airplane is still one of the safest ways to travel.
That is true. That is true. That is really true. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
and you can come into BWI.
okay.
Yeah.
We coming. We promise we coming. All three, we
Okay.
coming.
We coming.
Yes. After I drop this baby, we can have some. So I can have some fun.
Brunch.
So we said what you say, Lauren?
Bottomless.
What you say, Lauren?
I
May
said
and
after I drop some.
No, I said May and after.
Yeah, May and after.
May and after. Okay.
We can hit up a
the weather
bottomless
will be
brunch.
nice.
You know we like to brunch up here.
I love
so.
a brunch. I love a
We
good
do
brunch.
too.
Okay, ladies. So
Until next time.
there is strength in sisterhood.
And support in sisterhood.
Bye.
Bye.